The first thing he said still rings in my ears, even years later. He laughed and called out, "First time seeing a naked man?" And everyone around us went silent as my face burned and I turned away so fast I nearly tripped over my own feet. I'd never felt so exposed and humiliated in my life, even though I was the one fully clothed. I still ask myself to this day, was I wrong for how I reacted? Or was he completely out of line for saying it at all? Let me back up, because the moment makes no sense without the story that led up to it. I'm an Apache woman, and at the time I was 23, working a seasonal job on a remote cattle ranch through a cultural exchange and conservation program. I grew up with strong values about respect, privacy, and modesty. Nudity wasn't something sexualized in my mind, but it was private, and you didn't joke about it, especially not to embarrass someone. The ranch was owned by a man named Dale, a loud, weathered rancher in his late 50s who liked to tease everyone as a way of asserting control. He'd make comments, laugh too hard at his own jokes, and expect everyone else to laugh along. I was new, young, and trying to keep my head down. One afternoon, I was sent to check the water line near the creek. It was brutally hot, the kind of heat that makes the air shimmer. As I rounded a bend through the trees, I accidentally walked straight into a clearing by the creek. That's when I saw him. Dale was standing in the water, completely naked, clearly bathing and completely unaware I was there for half a second. I froze. He turned, saw me, and instead of apologizing or covering himself, he smirked. I immediately looked away, muttered sorry, and tried to leave. But that's when he said it loud enough for two other ranch hands nearby to hear. "First time seeing a naked man?" They laughed awkwardly. I wanted the ground to swallow me. I spent the rest of that day shaking, with a mix of shame and anger. It wasn't that I'd seen a naked body. It was the way he made it into a joke at my expense. Like my discomfort was entertainment. That night I barely slept, replaying the scene over and over, wondering if I was being too sensitive or if my instincts were right. Over the next few weeks, his teasing got worse. He'd make little comments, never explicit, but always hovering just close enough to cross a line. I started avoiding areas where I might be alone with him. So that was the situation I was in, and I had to make a choice. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause for a second and comment what you would have done in my place. Would you have brushed it off to keep the peace? Or would you have said something and risked your job? What finally pushed me over the edge was when he repeated the joke in front of a larger group at dinner one night, framing it like a funny story about how shy I was. Everyone laughed. I didn't. I stood up, hands shaking, and I told him very clearly that what happened wasn't funny, that I deserved respect, and that my culture and personal boundaries weren't something he got to mock. The table went dead quiet. Dale's face went red, not with embarrassment but with anger. He snapped back that I needed to lighten up, and that life on a ranch wasn't for delicate people. The next morning, I went straight to the program coordinator and reported everything. I was terrified. I needed that job. But something in me had finally decided that my dignity mattered more. An investigation followed. Other workers, emboldened by my complaint, admitted Dale had made them uncomfortable too. Within a month, he was removed from supervising seasonal staff. He never apologized to me, but I didn't need him to. What I needed was to know I hadn't imagined it, that my feelings were valid. The aftermath was strange but healing. The ranch felt lighter without him looming over everyone. I stayed for the rest of the season and did some of the best work of my life. I learned that speaking up doesn't make you weak or humorless. It makes you human. Looking back, I don't regret turning my face away, and I don't regret standing up later. Respect isn't about jokes or toughness. It's about recognizing someone else's boundaries. Like this video if you were on my side. Subscribe for more stories like this, and share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section. I'll see you all in the next story.